Flashing lights in the dark baritone hum. Engine scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire, chasing glory through the chaos of desire. Your TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. Your TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. Your TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. Your TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Strap me in, fuel me with untamed speed. Data in the storm, all the rush I need. Glitches on the edge, chaos in the stream. Sim racing paradise, unraveling the sea. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Flashing lights in the dark baritone hum. Engine scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire, chasing glory through the chaos of desire. Your TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. Your TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. Your TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. Your TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, chance at the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats round and engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul.
And welcome back to Nerd TV for another Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Cup Series race live. This time from the Michigan International Speedway on iRacing service, of course. As we get our countdown to green underway, started by Icon Apparel Company, which you can go to iconapparelcompany.com, use promotion code SUPERNERD, and save 25% off your purchase. And here we go. Here's the weather on the track this evening, 72 degrees. I'm not sure what gel means on the bottom left-hand corner of that. We'll just ignore that for now, but nice even 100 degrees there on the surface. Very little winds and partly cloudy out here to start this evening. And if you haven't counted our broadcast in the past week or two, well, you'll see what that little checkered flag graph is along the way during this race. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty, and to my left-hand side, well, right-hand side, Jason Rockefeller. What's going on, dude?
Nothing much, man. Just kind of hanging out, you know, ready to rip some Michigan International Speedway. Should be a great race tonight. I'm looking forward to it. I haven't really called too many Michigan races, believe it or not. I've called some eNASCAR contenders, or not contender, but Road to Pro stuff here, and also some leagues with you guys. But I don't really ever get the chance to call Michigan, so I'm really looking forward to it. This is probably one of my more favorited tracks, I would say. When it comes to kind of just running full wide open and stuff like that. But obviously as the tires wear out, you know, it's a different story. But looking forward to tonight's race for sure.
Yeah, man, we got 4 cereal brands out here, 2 sources of milk, and this is also, on the realistic note, the final race of the regular season. Or one more. I thought it was 2 more. I don't know. We'll figure it out here as we go through it. But I guess 2 more until we get to Talladega to start off the playoffs. So it's right at the very edge of the regular season. Anyways, a little bit lower driver count here tonight. I think it's, 12 or 13, maybe 14. Maybe it's just because people are thinking, hey, it's the end of the season. Just going to get ready for the postseason and go over it. But if you're curious about your top 5 in points, Nate Lesko with a huge lead at 86 points. And then it gets really tight, Jason. You go Austin Wheeler and Braxton DeWeese separated by 2 points. And then you go back a little bit further, 122 back, you'll find Blake Trawick, who's going for a 5-peat on the podium side. And then Nick Kaufman, 135 out. And that's your top 5.
Yeah, and obviously I'm pretty sure, you know, Nate Lesko's practically got this regular season title locked up before we do start the chase. In just a couple weeks after tonight and Charlotte, we go to Talladega for the first opening race of the 5-race chase. Top 15 make it, and that's going to be the thing that we're all talking, or top 16. That's going to be the thing that we're all talking about. I thought it was 15, but I guess top 16 is what it is. But, I mean, you look right there, obviously Al Likens only has about, a 7-point gap over Bill Hagan. So everybody's going to have to really, really be careful here coming into tonight, who, if they obviously did enter in the race tonight and are planning to do it here, because they only got 1 minute left before the session starts up. Live for qualifying. So it's getting down to the nitty gritty of this season. You know, I mean, the regular season always probably the most stressful thing. If you didn't have good finishes in the first couple races, you put yourself in a hole. If you really didn't have any good finishes about halfway through the regular season, you were in a huge hole, and you really had to dig your way out of it. So it should be an exciting one tonight. I'm expecting a really great race next week at Charlotte. This should be really fun. I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Yeah, Michigan gets pretty drafty at times, right? And we're going to see the second and third lane being used, especially in turn 1 and turn 2. We know that works well. Then I've seen some drivers out here in 3 and 4, especially Nate Lesko. He has been ripping that Kyle Larson line on the very top of the track at times. Right now in practice, you're seeing these two guys run the bottom. But you see one way back there. He's up against that way hard to use fourth lane and 3 and 4. Sometimes you just can't get the car to rotate, but these guys are figuring it out here, messing with their steering ratios and whatnot. And 1 minute left, or actually 30 seconds left in this practice session. And top of the boards, Blake Trawick trying to 5-peat the podium, maybe gets a second win. But this is the first time I've seen him leading a practice session, Jason.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously, we all have talked about it. We talked about it pre-race. We talked about it last week. Blake Trawick is trying to go for his 5th consecutive podium finish. Blake has been insane. I said it last week. He was going to be my pick to win. Somehow, some way, he was my pick to win. If not that, then top 3. And guess what? He did it. After all the chaos and all the adversity last week over at Richmond, and we'll get into that later on through the night, and obviously right before the race, I'm sure. But great job by him to survive all the carnage. And even Braxton DeWeese, last week's winner, won his first race of the year last week, said it was kind of just a game of survival. Not really a lot of luck. I mean, Nick Kaufman was the best car all night. We'll talk about that for sure. But Blake is really on a heater. I think that he's going to be a guy to look out for, obviously coming in to tonight, and obviously just going into the chase here in just a couple weeks. I mean, he sits 4th right now. In the regular season standings, only 34 back to Braxton DeWeese, but obviously we all know Nate Lesko's pretty much got this locked up, for the regular season. But don't count out Blake. I genuinely believe if that team can keep getting better and he can keep practicing and stuff like that, I genuinely believe he might have something for Nate Lesko and Austin Wheeler and some other guys here as this chase starts up in a couple weeks at Dega.
100%. Absolutely. As we go qualifying, so we're going to get cameras off the screens and watch some of the fastest drivers from Michigan in the practice session. Turn laps here in their qualifying. Blake Trawick, honorary roll here, being P1 fastest in practice. And just want to get this out of the way. Admins, if you're watching at this particular time on the rerun of the broadcast, it does say playoffs next week. Charlotte follows it with the first race in the playoffs, but it's supposed to be Talladega. So just get that out of the way. But here we go. Here's lap number 1. Do we take it safe? Do we go for it? Do we go full cal on this, Jason, or what are we doing here?
I think you kind of got it. You got to start up a little bit higher. And obviously, this is only, I believe, 1 lap of qualifying. So he's going to go down to the middle lane, come all the way out to the wall. That's going to be a really tight exit for him. I don't know if Blake's going to have the best lap. Now, granted, I haven't qualified a Cup car here in quite some time, because usually when I used to qualify what's now the O'Reilly Auto Parts car, I would pretty much dive it all the way down to the bottom, and your goal is to not exit up super high, exit middle, because these cars, you could really throw it down in there. I believe this is going to be his first lap. He might have a second lap, and yes, he does. So this is going to be the money lap right here, and he's going to start all the way up at the top. He's going to dive it down in there. I think he's probably not going to get the entry that he wanted, but he's actually going to almost get up into the wall right there. Blake definitely not the kind of lap he's going to want here for this second one. I think this first one very well might be his fastest one. I just don't see him getting it done right here. Tyler Bowling currently having the pole with the 38.174.
See where the Mustang lands here as he cuts down to the flat part of the front straightaway, touches the grass. Watch out for this 1X there. Gets the time posted of 38.4. Was his second lap. So right now we're sitting P2 for him. Tyler Bowling always qualifying up at the very front of the field. Gets the only time right now with a 38.174. 5 times still to be posted, including this man on track on his first lap now, Mr. Nate Lesko.
Yeah, and Nate obviously had a really tough race last week at Richmond. You know, he was up there. I believe he started on the pole. If I'm correct, looking back at the results, he did. He started first, but he was still able to finish in the top 10 with everybody's issues that they had. So was able to salvage some points. In fact, I think he actually gained a couple points on Austin Wheeler. If not that, he lost a couple points. That's what it was. He lost a couple points, went from 86 to 84 back, I believe, was Austin Wheeler. But Nate is a very good driver. And with the field being so thin here tonight with only 15 cars or so, this is going to be an interesting race. Nate wants this regular season championship. It's going to, obviously prevail him to that #1 seed going into the chase. But this is a guy we've looked out for all season long. He had 2 wins in a row at one point. I believe it was almost 3, or it was 3. But Nate is just a really fast driver, currently having the pole 38.160 for the driver, the number 20 Nesquik machine. And obviously, you have chocolate milk, but then you have Fruit Loops. Nick Kaufman, boy, oh boy, what a week, Jeremy, did he have just a week ago at Richmond.
Yeah, that was a fun and exciting time there. Absolutely. Some drivers got a couple penalties from it. We saw some good racing. We saw some payback. We saw a little bit of everything. Now we're focusing on the big boy track here at Michigan for the final our regular season race. I had race control come over. What was that, Dustin? Oh. Okay. This race is being dubbed the Be Like Biff 100. Thank you for that correction. For the final regular season race, Charlotte confirmed next week as your first playoff event from race control. So this is it. This is your final opportunity to move anywhere. I know our Dustin with the sidetrack there. He got lied to our producer, Mr. Dustin Laukston, pressing the buttons. Yeah, it's next week, not 2 weeks from tonight. And that's it for the driver, the number 95 there. And that is also time for qualifying. It is down to 0. Only 2 drivers not posting time. And here we go. They're going to cycle through, get on the grid here. We'll thank a sponsor or two, and then we'll cycle through 100 laps here at Michigan. As I go through their little driver report here before we go green flag, here is the official starting lineup for the final race here. Mr. Nate Lesko and Tyler Bowling going to start P1 and P2. And then on row number 2, we're going to find Blake Traywick in 3rd, Braxton DeWeese in 4th. 5th place will be Eddie Baker, followed with Brandon Finley in P6. 7th will be Bryce Hedgecock and Nick Kaufman to round out the row number 4. And row 5, the top 10 will be Bill Hagan and Mitch Diamond. And then the rest of the field, 11th will be Robert Hottenbach and David Mayberry. Oh, going a little too fast with that graphic. Look at that beautiful graphic there, by the way. So there's Robert Hottenbach and David Mayberry in P12. 13th place, Christopher Cash and Christian Marcelli. Thanks for the correction from last week on that. And then Austin Wheeler, P15. The final car on the surprising low driver count here this evening.
Yeah, and make note of a couple penalties obviously coming into tonight. So one, he's already starting up at the back of the field. That would be Austin Wheeler. He's getting an EOL for causing the final caution during regulation laps last week at Richmond. He will be deemed an EOL. And then also the number 18 of Bryce Hedgecock being awarded an EOL penalty and also a 1-race probation after an incident with another driver last week at Richmond as well. So those will be the 2 drivers going to the back. One are there. One will drop from 7th towards the rear end of the field. But Jeremy, I think tonight's talk is probably all going to be about Nick Kaufman. Granted, it's only a 15-car lineup. He'll move up to 6th now in the running order here at the start of this race. But the thing that it's going to be interesting that's going to make me wonder is how is he going to take last week's loss tonight? Granted, it is that 15-car lineup. I mean, this guy dominated last week. He led over 150 laps, I believe, or rather it was 140 laps just 1 week ago. And he is definitely looking for some redemption here tonight. He was so fast. Wasn't the fastest in practice, but Nick Kaufman, definitely a driver who is capable of having good racecraft. It's just a matter of can he finish the deal when it matters most.
Yeah, 100% here. Half a lap left. Let's see some awesome green flag racing. Let's close this regular season out with a banger. I know long runs are going to be tricky here. This track doesn't usually tear up the next gen or Gen 7 tires too much, but at the end of the day, these guys are going to be racing for a win, and they're going to use everything up to try to maybe put Nate Lesko deep in the field. Who knows? Maybe we're going to see some surprise guys before this thing's all said and done. Here we go. It's going to be Blake Traywick's 5th podium in a row if he can get it done. I know his fans out there are cheering him on for that. Pace car down. Throttle's out the ready, and green flag. This thing is officially underway here, and great start for the top 5. Baker actually shoving the 56, 3 rows deep, getting a great start. Good to see the 94 Finley also getting right up tucked in with Braxton DeWeese. 6-7 car breakaway, and you see about a 2 to 3 car length separation between them and the 5, who closes it up momentarily through the bottom, loses it on exit here, and we're through the first set of corners, and everything's all clear.
And the thing that's going to make this race really interesting for the fans at home, Jeremy, is the fact that the way that the fixed setup runs here on iRacing with this Gen 7 car is there is going to be a lot of pack racing. You're going to see this race kind of play out like how the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series race does on Saturday here the last couple of years with the package they do. A lot of pack racing tonight, but obviously Clean Air is going to mean everything as we got lots of drivers 3 wide here in the middle of the pack. That's Blake Traywick. You also have, that's the 84 of Eddie Baker, and that's Nick Kaufman shooting the gap there in the Fruit Loops machine. 3 wide middle, and he'll take the top spot.
3 wide deep in the back, gets filed to 2 wide, and almost all single filed. Lap number 2 back straightaway, 20 with a 2-car advantage over the Honey Nut Cheerios car. As you get the early separation starting off here. Almost 3 wide deep in the back. They figured it out, though. Some good side drafting going on, but yeah, early on, the low number of cars here, Jason's you're gonna see a lot more of this single file, which should produce more green flag running. I would imagine these cars are not running loose. Haven't seen a single car just get loose in corner center. Maybe late in the run, sure, but these things are hooked up early, and it should produce some good racing here as soon as these tires warm up.
Yeah, and everybody going to get single file for the time being. People are going to try to pass. And again, it's going to look like that O'Reilly Auto Parts, formerly known as Xfinity Series package here, with the way this spec setup is here on iRacing for the Gen 7 car. I think that the pushes are going to be massive. The runs will be massive, but Clean Air is going to mean everything. If you're Nate Lesko, you love what you're seeing on back behind you. But don't get me wrong, there's going to be guys who are going to be looking at different lines all over the racetrack. I'm surprised nobody's going all the way down. The Michigan that I'm so used to is diving it all the way down to the bottom and coming back up to the middle half to top of the racetrack off 2 and off 4. That's not the case. We got guys diving it down in there, but a lot of guys running middle to top groove. Look at Chris Cash in the 69 machine back there in 10th. He's running the top of the racetrack. Going to get a little run here on Bill Hagan down the front straightaway. What will he do with it? He'll elect to stay tucked in behind the 5 machine and push him all the way down the front straightaway.
Yeah, if it was easy to pass on the bottom, you would see him just go to the bottom early there, but he decides to tuck in and go to the outside to use that sweeping momentum off the outside of these corners, which carries a lot of extra speed. The very bottom of Michigan in turn 1 and 2 is slightly progressive banked, if you will. There's a 1 degree difference between that very bottom lane and everything that's above it, so it really produces that true side-by-side racing here. And with Michigan, yeah, you kind of just, you want to manage the tires a little bit, but since the tire wear fall-off isn't that strong, you're just more worried about tire heat. But you run that top, it does produce it, but not a drastic difference. That's why these guys are going to fan out early and fan out all race long. You see the 18 there, Bryce, he's around that 3rd, almost 4th groove. A lot of guys in practice are running up against the outside wall. Expect that to be in the center of the long run portion of this race. Battle for the race lead. Here comes the Cheerios car. Looking to take the first lap lead away from Nate Lesko. That's Tyler Bowling in the 15.
And Tyler's going to have no help right here on the bottom side of the racetrack. All that momentum's going to come up from the top side. Lesko's going to have that air being pushed to him from Brandon Finley in the number 94 Cocoa Puffs machine all the way up at the top of the racetrack. You saw the 15 stall out there down the front straightaway. Lesko able to get back by. Well, they're side by side once again. The Chocolate Milk Machine versus the Honey Nut Cheerios car down the back.
Great view here from the driver window looking back at everybody else. Love this camera angle. I love the spoiler camera that we usually run out too, but we might have to break that up. Oh, Brandon
that was
Finley. Speaking of tight, yeah, the 94 got wicked tight there. Had to get off the throttle and let it coast for a while. You see the separation, man. He went from being door to door with a 20 to losing 2 to 3 spots here. Yeah, just like that. Massive tightness early on. I guess when you take the air off his nose at Michigan, they're already tight on the start of this race. That made that thing super tight.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And that's just how Michigan's been over the last 10 or so years. It has been like that consistently, whether it be Trucks, Cup, or even O'Reilly. It's been like that. If the second that you have to lift out of the throttle, you get tight, loose, man, oh man, you are losing not just one, but two spots. I would argue to say there's a little bit of contact there between the 95 and 84, that this is one of those racetracks where if you stall out immediately, you're going to drop out like a rock from the middle of the pack, because it is just so hard to get your momentum going, or rather back going after you kind of stall out. I mean, look at Nate Lesko. The second he started to get past for the lead, he has dropped now 3, almost 4 spots, while Tyler Bowling has gone to lead. And look at Nick Kaufman being really aggressive here early on, coming to lap 10. Thought about going 3 wide for a moment. He'll elect to lift out of the throttle and tuck in right behind Eddie Baker. And now he'll push Nate Lesko down the straightaway.
Dustin, our masterclass producer over there, calling the camera angles there, putting the spoiler camera out for me already. And look at us up against the wall. Eddie Baker with some massive moves here. Braxton DeWeese got the alert there. Pass for the race lead. If he can hold it on for this lap, it'll be our 3rd race leader within the first 10 laps of this 100-lap event here. For the Be Like Biff 100, 3 wide. Into turn number 3 here. Nate Lesko had to back up early. Now here comes the 84 on the outside. Side draft, maybe a little bit of contact on the 15. Eddie Baker moves himself up to P2.
Now look at the 15. He just went from being side by side with the 8, and because of the momentum with the draft from the 84 to 8 to the 20, he's going to have to tuck right back in line. Almost hits the wall there, entering the corner. He's going to get put 3 wide for a second. That's what Nick Kaufman. Oh, and Kaufman's slide job on the 15. That was nearly a wreck that should have happened, but didn't. He puts the slider on the 15 machine, drops him back to 4th, and now Nate Lesko has to battle the 15 for position, while Blake Trawick behind him, the biggest loss of the race so far, -4 from where he started. That car is just super, super tight.
D4, Eddie Baker. Right, or to the point here on lap number 12 here for your 4th different leader of this race through 12 laps. As the tires have warmed up and it's getting really racy. I was hoping I would see this and not just a drug out single file race, but Michigan, with all the draft that's around these cars, it is doing wonders on these freshies still here. As we go to turn number 3, just like that, we're going to fan all the way top to bottom. It's all driver preference in these fixed setup races.
Yeah, for sure. And obviously some guys like the tighter race car. Some guys like the looser race car. You know, when it comes to the fixed setup, especially when the Gen 7 came out, Jeremy, I know you know, Dustin knows, everybody here obviously knows because they're driving it, that the fact that this car is just really, really tight with the fixed setup. It's like that for mostly all series, but the Gen 7, there's just something about it. It's not loose at all. It's just really tight. So you kind of got to fiddle with the throttle, fiddle with your steering ratio, and so forth. So it's going to be really interesting to see who is going to play the tire game a little bit better than others, because you're going to have to at least maintain the throttle, yes, but you're also not going to have to just dig into the corner and really use up your tires. You got to have to manage it. I think that this is going to be one of those races where if you ride in line behind 3rd or 4th, I think that when it comes down to it at the end of this race, you could save a little bit of tire, especially that right front. I think you could really smoke the field and take the lead.
Yeah, I really think so too. It would not be surprising if we see one of these guys back there, 6, 7, maybe Blake Trawick. You know, he always surprises us at the end of these things, and he's kind of like the Tyler Reddick in this series, where he just kind of shows up late, doesn't lead a lot of laps, but he's just there consistently at the end when it matters the most. But maybe we'll see a couple of those guys cycle through here upwards to the front, where they're just kind of keeping it cool, calm, and collective here for the first 14 laps. Onwards now to lap number 15. I think if I heard right, Dustin got the information from some drivers that the pit cycle should be around between 32 to 34 laps on a full tank of fuel. So that'll put you at about 3 guaranteed pit stops to close this thing out. But going to 30, it looks like. As we talk about that, let's actually go using our twistedspeedsetups.com in-car telemetry. As the 8040 Baker hits the wall and slows down a little bit, he's going to go from 1st to 4th, just like that.
Oh, look at this battle for the lead.
And you see, 2 by 2 for the race lead, and you see that fuel bar only halfway through the first 15 laps.
Yeah, and I asked Chris Cash right before the start of the race. He's one of the owners of the league. He's in that number 69 machine. He said that it was about 34-ish. So we're looking at about a 30 to 40 lap window, depending on how much fuel you can save. And while we look at the Twisted Speed Setup Shop telemetry box there, you look at onboard Braxton DeWeese. Obviously, Jeremy, you'd mentioned halfway through the fuel run, so these guys can make it on fuel. I think that this race is going to be really interesting as I say that the 15 nearly got into the 8 machine there down the front straightaway off 4. They're able to gather it back up, and Nick Coffin's loving what he's seeing on back behind him. But there's some other drivers shooting it down in there. Here comes that 94 machine. Brandon Finley slides all the way down to the bottom, and he gets really loose on corner exit there for a second. Thought about going 3 wide and did, but not going to make anything of it. Nick Coffin still leading up at the front, while Braxton DeWeese looking to try to steal another one from Nick Coffin, just like he did 1 week ago.
And early to go in at that, too, is Nick Kaufman is your 5th different leader here. Braxton DeWeese next in line. He wants it. Tyler Boylan's going to go to the inside to try to utilize some of that slipstream from the 95. Nick Kaufman gets door panel side to side with Braxton. Going to run the middle and upper corner set here between the 8 and the 15.
Oh, the 18 of the wall.
Yeah, Bryce Hedgecock slams the outside wall, turn 2. He's going to lose a couple spots with that. Probably not too much damage with these carbon composite bodies, but nonetheless to say, got to take care of that stuff because you know how sensitive these toe links are.
Yeah, and not only that, but I think that damage is going to mean everything here tonight. This is a very aerodynamic-dependent racetrack. You're going to need every single bit of aero advantage that you can get. And as we talk about that, here comes another big aero push from the 8 to the 95, trying to get him right past Bowling on the outside lane. That's Kaufman, Bowling, DeWeese, and Baker, your top 4 with Nate Lesko in the 20 machine. Your pole sitter just 1 spot behind the top 4. And now down the back straightaway, Kaufman to the outside of Bowling, heading for turn number 3. And it looks like the 15 might slide up a little bit. He's going to try to get to the 95 there, going to clear him off the corner, and he does.
Good stuff there. Tyler Bowling back to the race lead. The Honey Nut Cheerios machine getting that complete draft push all the way down the front straightaway by Nick Kaufman here. And almost the entirety of the field going up to the outer laner, as that's going to be typical Michigan from this point forward. When those tires start to go away and the car gets tighter and tighter, that outside carrying that momentum, less wheel input, just makes the speed carry so much better than the inside lane. And it's already happening 20 out of the presumed 30 to 34 laps on this fuel run.
Yeah, and here comes Eddie Baker down to the bottom of the racetrack. He'll look down to the inside of Brandon Finley. That's going to be the battle going on for the 5th spot. Currently has it. That would be Finley over Baker, but Baker will dive it down to the inside lane, maybe thinking about a slide job. No, he'll stay right up on the bottom lane. Slides up big time, though. Oh, and the 18 is going to hit the wall again, big time. That's the 2nd time we've seen Hedgecock up in the wall. 2nd time tonight, and it's in the same exact spot. Remember, Bryce Hedgecock, after last week, got put on a 1-race probation after a driver incident with him and another driver, and also got an EOL at the beginning of this race. Made his way almost up into the top 5, and now he's going to lose some more spots here as Chris Cash looks to go around the outside, while the front of this field now starting to kind of string out thin, Jeremy, as we only have 9 laps to go in this opening stage.
Yeah, 9 laps to go here. 4th stage. Pushing it to the limits here as you go single file for the most part. You mentioned that the track is very aero dependent, and yeah, Bryce, when he hit that wall the 2nd time, I'm assuming that he has just lost what he needs from his body panels to keep him at a fast pace and not have to crank the wheels so much here. So you have to get that repaired during this pit stop coming up here shortly. But momentarily a little bit of a breakaway from the 15 as you cycle to the race lead. 5 car length advantage over these guys. You're still battling 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Nose to tail, side by side here on lap 23.
Now, it doesn't have to be the same manufacturer, but I'll tell you this right now. I think that if Kaufman and DeWeese can both push the 20 of Nate Lesko and stop jumping out of line like you see DeWeese do now to the bottom of Nick Kaufman, if they can just push each other, I think, all the way up to that 15 machine, they're going to have a shot at this stage. Tyler Bowling's best friend is clean air right now. It's like that William Byron meme you'll see all next, where it's Mr. Clean Air Man. That's how Tyler Bowling feels right now. He feels like Superman with clean air. But Nate Lesko is no slouch when it comes to being in dirty air. He knows how to get it done as well. But everybody's just battling on back behind Bowling, Jeremy. I just don't see any viable option for them to try to run down this 15 machine unless they work together.
You almost have to, right? Like, draft is so pivotal here. You want to pass somebody, sure, and you know it's a 2-mile track, so you can get done. You can go run your own lane, but ultimately, if you can have a car that you can find that's very similar in pace, very similar line, you could use that draft and really just make a run for it. But the way Tyler Bowling in the 15 is running right now, I don't think anyone's going to be able to catch him. So it's really going to be up to getting around Nate Lesko. That's going to be the first guy that's really up for grabs. But he's also starting to pull away from Nick Koff. He's got about a 3-car length gap, maybe even 4 to 5 down the back straightaway here over the 95. Then right now we got Finley and DeWeese battling side by side. So just like that, the front half is kind of just really separated in the past 5 laps.
And these two are battling super hard, and with them being side by side, sucking each other back with dirty air, they have now fallen into the clutches of Trawick and Baker. And you saw DeWeese have to block the 84 of Baker. He'll get a push. It closes right up to the back of the 94 of Finley, nearly setting him up into the wall. It looks like now DeWeese will throw a slider into 1 and 2, while Trawick and the 84 machine nearly come together right there, but they do not. And now they run down the back straightaway, still side by side on back.
These beautiful cameras presented by Whiplash Sim Cams, showing us all the angles here early on in this race. 2 by 2 are these group of cars off of turn number 4 here to complete lap 26. It's going to be 4 laps to go before we close out this stage. This is the good battle on track right now, DeWeese versus Finley, and they've been going at it for the past 5 laps.
Yeah, this has been such a great battle for, the 94. I thought he was going to come down on Blake Trawick, but Blake, with the respectable driver that he is, lifted up out of the throttle, lets the 94 of Finley slide right down in front of him. He'll come down to the bottom of DeWeese now battling. That's going to be what would be for the 5th spot here, which is 4 laps to go, coming to 3 this time by. So while this battle goes on, meanwhile, Jeremy, up at the front of this field, Nate Lesko only able to gain about a 10th or so on Tyler Bowling since about 3 laps ago. I just don't see anybody getting to Tyler Bowling here with 3 to go.
Race control has closed pit road. That means 3 laps to go before stage end here. Tyler has a half a second advantage over Nate Lesko, which then he has a full second over 3rd place Nick Kaufman. Brandon Finley, Braxton DeWeese close out the top 5 at this time. As Nate Lesko, Jason, is starting to close in a little bit on your race leaders. Are looking at 3 wide here. Blake Trawick in the middle of an ice cream and Cocoa Puff sandwich. They go 2 wide here. Brandon Finley gets the best of them.
Yeah, and you see right there, Trawick, he's going to slide in right behind the 94 machine of, that would be, or rather, yeah, sorry, my apologies. That's Brandon Finley. Had a little bit of a glitch there on our end. But here comes the 94 now battling down to the back end of Blake Trawick. And remember, we talked about earlier at the beginning of the broadcast, Blake dropped about 4 spots. He's gained 2 since. That car really was the first car to, in a way, drop towards the rear end of this field. But he's been able to pick off some spots for the time being, though. But this time by, Jeremy, 1 lap to go here in this stage. And the battle for the lead heating up slightly. I don't know if Nate Lesko's going to have anything for the 15, but he's going to try to throw everything with the kitchen sink included at this 15 machine. This 20's got that draft. He might be able to do something, but I just don't think he's going to have the time.
Yeah, just doesn't have the speed in that car. He's got it overall, but he needs more time. Not enough. 1 set of corners left, and this thing is coming to a close for stage number 1. Nate's going to try the outside. Not going to have anything for him. Tyler Bowling's going to win stage number 1 here at Michigan for the Be Like Biff 100. And it looks like Nick Kaufman's going to take 3rd. There's a 3 wide battle down the front straightaway to close this thing out right behind. It's going to end up being Kaufman 3rd, Finley 4th, and Blake Trawick takes the top 5. And caution is out. Stage 1 comes to a close.
Yeah, great. Honestly, Jeremy, for having what would be right now 14 cars on the track. I believe Austin Wheeler pulled off the racetrack a significant amount of laps ago. Maybe if not, he's just really pacing around 28 laps down. Christian Marcelli has been really off the pace. So if you really think about it in hindsight, 13 cars under a blanket here these first 30 laps, and what would be a 30 to 40 lap fuel run, I would say that was pretty fun. That was a really interesting first stage. I know we got a long way to go here for the second stage, just under 60 laps. I don't really know who the favorite is right now, but if you got to go based off the long run, man, it's Tyler Bowling. But I think that these guys, after this first stage ended, they're going to see now, all right, maybe we can't be driving as hard as we were in that first stage. Granted, it was only a 30-lap run to what would be a 34-lap-ish fuel run. I think that a lot of guys are going to be taking mental notes inside their head to prepare here for the second half of the race.
And as I do that, we're going to go picture-in-picture commercial break. Stay tuned. We'll be back before the drop of the green flag to start off stage number 2.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
And back to full screen here. 1 lap left before we get to stage number 2. Top 5 to start off this. Stage number 2 is going to be Tyler Bowling, Nate Lesko, Brandon Finley, Blake Trawick, and Mitch Diamond. As we're going to talk to stage 1 winner real quick, if we can, get a word with Mr. Tyler Bowling. See if I can pull him from Intentionally Wrecked podcast channel. Tyler, this is Jeremy and Jason in the booth. You got a half a lap left. I just wanted to ask you, man, how's that car feeling? And congratulations on stage win.
Thanks, man. That feels pretty good. I think I got a little tight towards the end there. Nate definitely has that good long run speed, and my teammates as well. They're all really fast, so it should be interesting. Just got to manage the draft a little bit in this first 15 laps or so to kind of go from there.
Jason, you have anything for Mr. Tyler before we set him off?
Nate, tires, or not rather Nate, sorry, my apologies. Tyler, tires, you think they're going to matter here with that right front later on in the race?
Oh, for sure. I think we kind of saw it right there. It's really easy to try to burn that right front up to stay up and pass cars. But, yeah, that right front management is going to be key for this next 2 long runs here.
All right, man, go get them, and maybe we'll talk to you later this evening.
Appreciate it, guys.
You mentioned right front tire heat. The wear wasn't really a thing. It was all about that heat. If you cook it, you slow up and you drop back and you cool it off and you just rinse and repeat. And that's what we saw exactly in stage 1. Here we go. Green flag back in the air. Much more separated restart. Oh, we got some blocking early. Mitch Diamond putting a block on Bryce Hedgecock, or Nick Coffin rather, which puts a 3-wide situation. Nate Lesko almost gets tagged in the left rear corner panel. Oh, then Kaufman rather, sorry. Closes the door on the 20. Almost slams the wall at the same time. That was a sketchy move.
Yeah, that was a sketchy move. I mean, but Nick Kaufman is known to be that driver to be super, super aggressive early on in a run, take advantage of those fresh tires. I don't blame him. Track position seems to be key for the tire. Oh, and Nate Lesko, one of the guys dominating tonight, brushes the wall. Doesn't look like there's any damage to that number 20 machine. But back to what I was saying, I mean, Nick Coffin really aggressive with taking advantage of those 4 fresh tires, but you got to be careful with it. Remember how strong he was early on in those first 2/3 of that run. After about lap 23, 24, he kind of started to fall off a little bit, fell back from 3rd on back, I believe it was. So you got to take care of your tires if you want to put yourself in a position here for this next run here to the finish, which is going to be in about 34-ish laps.
Single filed out momentarily. We saw this exactly happen on stage 1 a couple laps in. Wait for the tire pressures to build up, and then this thing's going to get racy again. So expect that. But right now, Brandon Finley getting that clean air momentum, doing a fantastic job in that 94 Cocoa Puffs Chevrolet. As we're got a new couple graphics, Jason, we kind of want to introduce here. We're going to see where the Chevrolets are running in this field. Should pop up on your right-hand side of your screen. A couple of fun ones to kind of just look through. Here's all the Chevrolets running 1st, 3rd, 5th, 6th, 10th, 11th, 13th, and 15th. Of course, Chevrolet dominated field. And then you got the Toyotas out there. Let's see where they're sitting. Only 2 of them, 4th and 12th. And let's just show off the Ford Mustangs while we're looking at all of them. Here we go. And there's the rest of the field by manufacturer. And we got that by that kind of stat in multiple different ways, Jason.
Yeah, obviously Chevy rounds out the top 10 with 5 guys, but I mean, they're not that far off from the Fords. You know, this is a heavily dominated Ford racetrack typically. Obviously, this is in Ford's backyard. You know, this is only right down the road from Detroit, Michigan, up here in the Irish Hills, so they really want to get a win. And oh boy, Bryce Hedgecock nearly put, and actually did put, that would be the number 29 machine of David Mayberry into the wall off an arrow push. I think Mayberry thought the 18 was going to clear him right there, did not, and got up into the wall. But for the time being, everybody, look at this battle going on. You got DeWeese, Hedgecock, Finley, and obviously Treywick. Lots of guys battling throughout the field, but Brandon Finley up there, rather, I think that was Eddie Baker, my apologies. But Brandon Finley, like I said, he is up at the front of this field right now, pulled out to Jeremy a 0.5 of a second, half-second gap over this number 95 of Nick Kaufman.
Yeah, 100% there. 94 continues to lead the way with a 5+ car length advantage over Nick Kaufman and the 95. And let's take a look at our lap leaders tonight, which I think is going to be presented by TwistedSpeedSetup.com. And there's your current leaders that have led at least 1 lap or more. And so that was all from stage 1. It was, 6 different leaders within that stage 1. That was pretty impressive stuff. A lot of flip-flopping for that. And we're going to see more of that in stage 2. But Brandon Finley's put on a show so far, Jason, on this stage 2. And not giving these drivers an early chance.
Yeah, Finley's been doing a great job so far. Kaufman has closed that gap by about 0.2 of a second looking at the leaderboard right now. So remember, we talked about it at the start of the stage. I mentioned it. Nick Kaufman is really strong on this short run, but I think his weak point is going to be on that last third of the run here for this 35-ish lap run. That he's just got to manage that right front tire. He uses it up so much being aggressive that eventually he just starts to fall on back. I mean, look at the 15 of Tyler Bowling right now. That guy is your stage 1 winner here. And we look at the boozy tipsy cam. He's on the bottom side of the racetrack. Tyler restarted first. He is 7th right now. And here comes Blake Trawick, who nearly runs into the back of the 15, almost washes up into the 18. But that 15 of Tyler Bowley's got a long ways to go. But he is a driver who knows how to manage that right front here. We saw it in stage 1. I can count on the 15 to be up there in the top 3 here come this second third of the race being over and done with before we have green flag pit stops.
Dustin doing a fantastic job flying that boozy tipsy camera through 196 to 200 mile an hour circumstances here as they get to actually 203 before they get to turn number 1, so into the 200 range in these Gen 7 cars. And early on, even earlier than stage 1, a lot of these guys are shifting to the outside lane. Single file entirely down the back straightaway here on lap 43.
And with 58 laps to go, you got to think some of these guys are taking these mental notes like they did at the end of stage 1 of how can they make their driving style better here for the last third of this race. Remember, Jeremy, you mentioned it earlier on. This was about a 34-ish lap run like Chris Cash told us at the top of the show. You're going to separate this race probably into 2/3, or rather, 3/3. You're going to have the first stage. You're going to have this run to about maybe 30-ish laps to go, and then you're going to run all the way to the finish. So take yourself mental notes. What can you do better here in this run and transfer them over to the next run? I think track position by far is going to be key. Big shout out, though, that is a huge thing for track position right now is Mitch Diamond in the number 65 machine. This is a guy earlier on, he threw that big block on Nick Kaufman during the restart and put him all the way to the apron there. And then he was able to kind of settle down in the 3rd spot. He's up 7 spots from where he started to Nick Kaufman's 6. I think Mitch Diamond possibly has a shot if he could just maintain himself and kind of stay clean, stay green. I think he's going to have a shot at this win maybe, but not if Nate Lesko has anything to say here in that 20. He's closing in.
100% here, and that's going to trigger the biggest movers presented by Shirtitudes of this race so far. Mitch Diamond up 7, Nick Kaufman up 6, Brandon Finley up 5, and then David Mayberry and Chris Cash share +2 with their current positions to the right-hand side of that stat there. And so we're getting them racing back on. We saw some single file. Now we're seeing quite a few 2-wide situations here on lap 46, getting close. Oh, Bryce Hedgecock.
What a move!
I thought he was going to wash up to the wall again, but no, he actually kept the momentum and kept it 2 car lengths away from the outside wall and makes the pass over Braxton Deweese.
Oh, and look at this right here. The 84 got up into the back of the 65, and the 84 of Baker had to lift big time. It's going to open up the door for Hedgecock, who clears himself, but they make contact and don't have a wreck. I cannot believe that because that was a wreck that was bound to happen and didn't, just like we had at the beginning of this race. What a job by Eddie Baker and what a job by Bryce Hedgecock to not cause a wreck there. But that all started when the 84 gave a huge shot to the 65 entering 3. Had to lift big time out of the throttle there. Boy, oh boy, I would love to see a replay of that because that was tight.
Yeah, we'll see if Dustin can pull that up so you can get one more view of it here. 84 Baker been living up right against that outside wall of 3 and 4. Single file goes to the top. 6 contact, 15. Tyler Bowling, Braxton Deweese exiting turn number 4, and they give themselves a lot of separation. There's your replay here through the corner. Look at that, just strong moves made by the 18.
Man, that was a wreck that should have happened. I mean, the 18 and the 84 just barely come together right there. 18 easily could have been hooked to the wall, but Eddie Baker probably the biggest heads up between the two of them. He had awareness. No, the 18 was going to try to clear him right there and didn't. So he kind of just lifted up out of it, and he's going to sacrifice his spot there in the 5th for Bryce Hedgecock while Baker falls into the 6th spot while Nick Kaufman tries to run down Brandon Finley but just cannot do it for the time being, Jeremy. Lap 50 is now going up on the board next time by. So in just about 15 laps or so, we should be having those green flag pit stops, I believe.
Yeah, we're going to see that momentarily. Halfway in the lap and a half here with your race leader, Finley, just continuing to put on a show. At this point, we had 3 or 4 different lead changes in stage 1, and now he's just all the 94. That Cocoa Puffs paint scheme doing some fantastic work, showing the superior serial brand. Coming off a turn 4 here. Lap number 50 underway.
And Brandon Finley's doing a great job trying to keep Nick Kaufman away from him. He's trying to break the draft while Kaufman keeps trying to run him down, but just cannot do it. Nate Lesko's been able to get by Mitch Diamond there in the 65. That's for the 3rd spot. But now they've got to work together. Lesko's by the 65. And if Diamond can get to Lesko, give him that push when they ride behind Nick Kaufman, I think they might be able to close in. Because, again, I'll say it one more time, Kaufman known for being very aggressive earlier on in the first 2/3 of a run. But as time progresses, once you get to that super long run of the tires, he starts to kind of just wear out that right front, big time, fall back. I expect Lesko to maybe make a run at him. He almost made a run at the 15 of Tyler Bowling for the end of stage 1. It was just too little too late with not enough time. I think Nate Lesko by far is probably going to be the best driver on the long run.
So I saw Bryce off at turn 4 again, hit the outside wall in turn 4. That is not his favorite corner at all. As we're looking at Braxton DeWeese making the pass over the 18 now into turn 3. One of the few drivers able to run the bottom and do it quite well. I'm kind of surprised, Jason, about Tyler Bowling. That 15-car stage winner was up to the front multiple times. And he talked about keeping that right front cool when he was going to do the same thing, but he is falling off, man. Look how far back he is. He's 2 seconds, 22 laps since stage. I'm really surprised how much of a shift his speed has had. He has a little bit of time left in this run, sure, but that's a lot of cars to pass in a short period to get back to where he was at the end of stage 1.
Yeah, and this has been unfortunate for Tyler Bowling. I mean, he started up on the front row in first for the restart, finds himself in 7th. He hasn't really been able to make any headway. Everybody's kind of just single file right now for the time being. And I don't see him making up a lot of headway here. Everybody's just too spread out. Track position has been meaning everything here tonight, and tire wear with it being slightly a factor, but not a ton. Only by about like 6 to 8 or 9 tenths. I don't think it's that big when everybody is on the same kind of tire wear. I think that Tyler Bowling is going to have to probably short pit if he wants to try to leapfrog this field for sure.
Side by side is the Mustang with the Fruity Pebbles here. Then right in front, still side by side, is DeWeese and Bowling. Two of the best battles on the track at this moment in time. Let's go through some of the team running orders here for the Smoky Mountain Sim Racing Cup Series. Starting with, well, Intentionally Wrecked Podcast. Here we are. 1, 2, 3, 7, and 9 are the 5 drivers from IPW. Or IWP. And then we got Mr. Bolick there all by his lonesome. It's hard to do it single-handedly and be in the top 5 when you got some of the best doing it in big groups and numbers. So shout out to Mitch Diamond for able to keep this momentum running strong. We're going to cycle back to all the single car operations, which should be Bolick, but all these guys are no teaming it. Like again, shout out to these guys. Eddie Baker 5th place, Blake Treywick in 8th. Now having a good run compared to what he's had in recent history. David Mayberry in 10th. Christian Marcelli in P12. That's just a little bit of a rundown. Braxton DeWeese Racing, the last one I think on the docket. 7th and 13th for these 2 drivers.
Yeah, they're doing great. And there's Chris Cash. Look at Chris Cash right now. Yeah, can't forget about Chris Cash, Smoky Mountain owner. And Austin Wheeler. Austin's been running, obviously, in 15th. I'm pretty sure that Austin was out of the race a long, long time ago. I don't even think he's still in anymore. But obviously, you also have Bill Hagan in the 14th, or rather in the 5th, in the 5 machine. He's running 14th, 8 seconds off the pace. I think this is kind of just, a way for them to just kind of come out here and have fun. I know there's some guys who aren't going to make the chase. I don't really feel like they have the necessary tools or the driver ability to come out here and maybe win at Michigan, but they just like coming out here. It's Thursday night. Everybody likes to have their hobbies. I know us nerds here in the booth, we love to just call these races. It's been a great season, both between, Smoky Mountain and the OTSS series that we do call on Tuesdays. They just got done with their season. But, this is a great thing to have, sim racing in general. Think about it. You could just jump in a race car whenever you want on any given night and just go out there and have fun with some of your buddies, some randoms, doesn't even matter. And obviously, you know, for some people, it's really competitive. For some people, it's just kind of a hobby. It's kind of fun for them. So, great little action we've got going on here tonight in Michigan. Oh, what that was big contact there between the 15 and the 84 right there. That's Tyler Bowling, Eddie Baker. And we talked about Jeremy before, Tyler Bowling having trouble making his way back up through the field. And right there, a little bit of contact with him and Eddie Baker, because you can only imagine Tyler Bowling getting a little frustrated not being up toward the front of this field.
Yeah, he's starting to make some moves here. Puts himself into the top 5. He gained 3 spots since 6 laps ago. So he's starting to crawl his way back as we're getting to the close end of this field cycle. A lot of spacing in this field. Look at that from the view from turn 3, turn 4 camera, looking back through the field. Not the picture that was painted in stage 1. This is all about just tire saving and differences of strategy versus stage 1, where they just went full send university on it. And it's caused a complete different race, something I did not expect to see between the first and second. Brandon Finley leading every single lap here in this stage 2, as Nick has tried to catch Brandon multiple times, and he's probably as close as he's been yet at 0.2 to 0.3 back from him. But just that aero wash, man. It looks like by watching this car or these cars go on this track, Jason, there's a preferred lane around this place, and the aero tightness is so strong that Nick just can't get to it as he puts his nose about a car length or 2 to the outside. As we got our twistedspeedsetups.com in-car telemetry, but we're going to try to watch him from the outside as he bumps the wall here.
Yeah, and actually he's going to gain big time here down the back straightaway with going to the outside lane there. Jeremy, it's just so interesting to me. Like, seven years ago, you probably would not have seen this kind of racing at this racetrack with the way it is. Everybody was going to the bottom. I mean, you had some guys running middle to top and stuff like that, but all right, maybe I shouldn't say 7, because back in the Gen 6 era when you were running 550 horsepower, high downforce, everybody was running middle to top lane because you just couldn't go anywhere. But you give it like 10 years ago, like COT era, you know, like late COT. I mean, like 2012 COT. You are not seeing this kind of racing. Nobody is going to the top of the racetrack, you know, to aero block at Michigan. Everybody's going down into the corner, freshly repaved track. That was the last time this place was repaved, but it's just what you got to do here. You got to aero block. It's been a thing now for the last, you know, 7 or 8 years with the packs that they had into the Gen 6 and the Gen 7. And aero just means so much more, I feel like, in this car rather than the Gen 6. The Gen 6, you would just get tight and kind of just stall out. This one you do, but you get really twitchy. You get tight very, very easily, and it's a lot harder to save this race car. But while we've been talking about aero, Brandon Finley's aero blocking has not been helping him. Here comes Nick Kaufman. We got our first battle for the lead since the beginning of this start of the stage. And look who has reeled in the 2 leaders, Jeremy. What did I tell you? Nate Lesko, long run Superman. He is right there behind Kaufman, and he'll look to the outside here as they enter into 1.
3-car battle, just like that at the very tail end of the fuel cycle. Now who's going to take the short pit to get the advantage? Because as you can see clearly, the 94 is in that premium position with the clean air on top of his nose. Here comes Lesko to the inside of the 95, looking to take over P2 for the first time in 30 laps plus. And he's got him cleared momentarily. Does Nick try to do the crossover? No, he's going to hug the back bumper of the 20 down the front straightaway here. Is now Nate has the task of trying to catch the 94.
And he might as well just push him, but look who's into the picture now as well. Tyler Bowling, remember, back at about 8th to 7th spot. Was back by more than a second and a half, and now he has reeled in the leaders by just 0.6 of a second. He has closed in on Nick Kaufman, and Jeremy, this is playing out just like we had called it here at the top of the stage, that Nick Kaufman was going to be really strong on the short run, fall off, and that Nate Lesko and Tyler Bowling were going to be right there. But I do believe that Nate Lesko is better than Tyler Bowling on the super duper long run, but we still are yet to see that. We have one more green flag pit stop coming up, but look at Tyler Bowling all over the back bumper of Kaufman, while Lesko looks to try to go to the outside and get the run on Finley here coming off too.
Gonna try to get anything going, just cannot do it. That premium position for the 94 is just keeping them at bay momentarily. Goes to the top, is the 20. 94 gonna run that second lane. Nate's gonna try to diamond it a little bit there. Started high, washes low into the flat part a little bit. It's gonna scrub some of that straightaway speed from his Toyota Camry, as those two drivers put a little bit of a gap on the 15 and 95. 65 down, 35 to go.
And guess what? First opening round of stops coming up right now. Mitch Diamond, one of the guys who was up in the top 3 early on in this run, he will start green flag pit stops here. Starting it with 35 to go. He has hit the money right on the head. Oh, and he overshoots his box, has to back up. That's going to cost him a few tenths of a second and a half to imagine for the 65 machine. And now this time by, here comes the number 94, this time into the pits as well with Nick Kaufman. They're going to try to do the undercut while up at the front of this field. And now Nate Lesko and Tyler Bowling, Jeremy, they're surely going to have to come down this time.
Yeah, Tyler Bowling on the radio saying, yep, I'm coming down this time. Just waiting on Nate Lesko if he's going to call it out or just silently pull in. Braxton DeWeese on. Bryce Hedgecock is in pit road. Christopher Cash. So 5 drivers this lap on lap 67, making their way to their virtual crew members to get the field filled up. 4 tires on the car and send them for possibly their final pit stop of the evening. And here we go. Nate Lesko, Tyler Bowling. Tyler's going to get some ground caught on the 20. Heavy on the brake, but they make speed.
Yeah, and Lesko comes into the pits perfectly. So does Tyler Bowling. Now it's going to be a matter of where will they cycle out here. We have the track map. I would love to see the track map right now just to take a look and see where they are. So there we go. There's the 84 machine, Eddie Baker, your leader. And there's the 94 up in front of them. So they're entering turn 3 right now. And then you have the 2 guys on pit road right now. That's Lesko and Bowling. So we'll see where they cycle out. Here comes Eddie Baker. He'll be coming down this time by, I believe, and does. But meanwhile, there is Nick Kaufman and also Blake Trawick, who will maintain the race lead. And here comes Lesko and Bowling. They're off pit road. Now, will they beat the number 95 machine? The 95 beats the 15. I believe the 95 is also going to beat the 20 here as they come off turn number 2. And will he? They're going to be side by side almost. The 95 is going to have a good run. This is a battle for what will be the lead. And Nick Kaufman, just like that, will play it right. He'll get right around the number 20. And now it's going to be a game of who can manage tires the best here for the remaining 32 laps.
Yep, short run speed versus long run speed. Can Mr. Kaufman hold the 20 at bay whenever he's now got the clean air on the nose of his Mustang? And here comes, I think, the last driver to make pit road stop, I do believe. I can confirm this is our last green flag pit stop of the evening. Got 3 drivers on pit right now. And that's it. Blake Trawick barely overshoots a stall. He has to put it in reverse. That's going to cost him a couple tenths of a second when he gets back to the racing surface. Focusing on now your race leader, Mr. Nick Kaufman. 3 car length advantage over the 20.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting thing for Nick Kaufman. We've seen him again, and I'll keep talking about it. I don't care because I'm just looking at it, and this is how it's been playing out. Nick Kaufman is very, very strong on these short runs. He is by far the best car on the short runs. But we've seen how good Nate Lesko is. We've also seen Tyler Bowling come back from a second and a half and more to get into the top 2. Can he do it? Now that he's back there, he's not the best on the short run. Granted, he's back by 2 1/4 seconds back to Lesko and Kaufman. I think if he can just save these tires a little bit, manage it better, and I think within the last 15 to 12 laps, maybe turn on the jets in a way, I think Tyler Bowling could be right there. Jeremy, this is going to be like a game of chess at nearly 200 miles an hour, and we're not even at Talladega. That's for the Cup Series in real life this weekend, but this is going to be like a game of chess. Do you want to save your strategy, or do you want to go hard all the way into the paint and try to take home this checkered flag at the end of the night?
I think you kind of mix it up a little bit. You kind of take the Tyler Bowling approach where He dropped back 2+ seconds and almost got to the race leaders before the round of pit stops. But then also you saw the 94 Finley with the clean air on the nose, able to just secure that race lead the whole entire fuel cycle. So I guess it really depends on how well your car is handling, and how you drive this track will kind of depend on what you do with that information and proceed for the final stint of the race if it stays green flag the whole entire way. Which, minus stage break, we have seen nothing but green flag action through and through 72 laps. There's the gap still remaining about 3 car lengths, 95 and the 20. 28 laps to go. I know Tyler had a slower stop overall, but if you look at him, he's only sitting under 2 seconds now. He was at a 2-second disadvantage at the latest on that last fuel run. Do we see the 15 go a little bit hard in the paint early, like you're asking? I don't know. I think so, because I think he's a little bit too much of a deficit right now.
I think he's going to have to use up a litlittle bit of tire, no doubt. He's already gained a whole 0.2 since we just talked about his deficit, which was 2.25. Now it's 2 point. But it should be interesting. I don't know what to expect for the 15 of Tyler Bowling. We'll have to find out and see what he does to combat Lesko and Kaufman, because Lesko is putting an immense amount of pressure on this 95 machine, and Kaufman keeps running the outside lane. Lesko has been running the bottom, I've noticed now, the last few laps. We're right on board here with the number 20 machine down into 1 and 2. 95 continues to stay up at the top of the track, while Lesko runs that bottom, tries to conserve a little bit of tire, but uses it up slightly, while Kaufman just has the better drive off the corner using that outside lane. But Lesko's going to have the draft to kind of keep it maintained while they hit the next straightaway. But Tyler Bowling, Jeremy, it went from 2.2 seconds to 1.5 to the leaders. Tyler Bowling might be able to do it if they get side by side. That's all I'm saying.
He's going to keep crawling. We're going to do a segment a little bit later than normal. It's called Turn Up the Twos. We're going to listen to these cars go around Michigan. Turn down our volumes for just a moment. Have at it. Enjoy. And that was Turn Up the Tunes, powered by the Butt Kicker. And 20 laps to go left in this race here for the Be Like Biff 100. And position-wise, pretty stagnant. No one's really changed spots here other than Tyler Bowling still inching his way closer and closer. We got to shout out our league sponsors here before we close this thing out. So BK Designs specializes in high-quality custom iRacing paints for just $25 with $15 redos. So if you're looking for a sleek, professional look or a bold, eye-catching design, look no further than BK Designs on Facebook. Then you have Wheeler's Painting, which is Wheeler's Painting and More, turning houses into homes. Find them on Facebook. And then Whitehead Auto Detailing, making sure your vehicle feels as good as new to you. Find them on Facebook as well for more information if they're in your area in the Tennessee part of the country. I don't know why I stalled on that, but it's okay. Got him out of the way. We're doing good. The 20, Nate Lesko getting a little closer. Tyler Bowling, I think Jason has slipped back a couple tenths since I mentioned it. He's at 1.0 the past couple laps. Kind of falling stagnant, but we're almost side by side for this race lead.
Don't count him out, man. That's all I'm going to say, because he was back by about a second and a third last time I mentioned it, besides you, and now he is down to 9/10 of a second. Jeremy, I think dirty air might be what plagues Tyler Bowling from winning this race, but if he can pull it off, I would say it might be one of the best drives of the year, because he came back from 2.3 seconds practically. And not only that, but he was nowhere to be seen in that second third of this race. He was all the way back in 7th, 8th position, found his way back up to 4th. But now he finds himself with a shot to win, and he has gained a whole nother 10th in just a lap. Watch out, Tyler Bowling on the move. I think he might have something. And Nate Lesko up at the front of this field, trying to keep battling Nick Kaufman. Nick is just consistently running the top of this racetrack while Lesko runs this bottom side. This might be the best. This has been the best run we've seen Lesko get. But look at the door slam by Nick Kaufman off turn number 4. I think Nate Lesko might have to give it a couple laps. He might be able to get Kaufman, but he is being reeled in by Tyler Bowling. It's going to be a 3, maybe even a 4-car race for the win, because here comes Brandon Finley, only back by about a second and 6/10.
Yeah, Tyler actually gained 4/10 in the past 2 laps. As these guys are going side by side, there's a little more mirror driving had by the 95 and Nick Kaufman. Seeing Nate Lesko run opposite lanes, he's going to have to try to protect something if Nate can continue on his long run heaters, which he is known for, and you talked about it multiple times already in this broadcast. And 15 laps to go for the Be Like Biff 100. This is still anyone's ball game. Can Nick utilize the fresh air? Can Nate utilize the long run? Can Tyler have a fantastic run back from saving his tire? But Brandon Finley kind of fallen off since you mentioned him, so it's really just a 3-car race at this time.
Yeah, it's 5 now, make it 6/10 of a second from Lesko back to Kaufman. It's 3 from Bowling to Kaufman, and 3 for Lesko to Kaufman. I think Lesko has kind of maintained his way. Maybe tonight's the night Nick Kaufman finally does it. I think, though, that within these next 4 laps, I think that Tyler Bowling needs to get around Nate Lesko. If he does not, I think it's Nick Kaufman's race to win. But we've seen how strong this 15 is on the long run. But with that being said, this is that portion of the race where this is the super, super long run that Lesko has been so strong at from the last 2/3 of this race we've seen. But, and I keep on adding branches to this statement, with Lesko battling Nick Kaufman, I think he might have burnt up his stuff, but I think Kaufman may have as well, trying to keep the 20 at bay. This could play in favor for Tyler Bowling as long as he can get around Lesko in a quick, timely fashion.
This is going to be fun to watch here in the final 10 laps of this race to close out the regular season. Still, with 13 to go, it's anyone's race in this top 3. Finley continues to drop back as he's now 2.5 seconds outside of the race lead. Tyler going up to the top here. Nate goes to the bottom, and Nick Kaufman's going to block the inside run from Nate. Runs a little bit lower than what he had. This is going to help Tyler advance a little bit closer to these two. And if the 95 keeps mirror driving like this, we're going to be potentially 3 wide for this race lead.
Yeah, it could happen. Here comes Lesko down to the inside of the racetrack. This is probably the best run into the corner he's had all night long, but Kaufman with that outside momentum just has the better strategy. I think if Lesko wants to try something, he might have to go a little bit higher than Kaufman because Nick has not been running the very top of the racetrack. He's been running that middle lane, and he keeps on air blocking the 20 machine, taking the air off his nose, setting them back, getting them a little bit tight. Now this time by the line, 11 laps to go, and while these two continue to throw sliders after sliders with each other when it comes to putting on dirty air and clean air, Tyler Bowling is right there waiting in the wings for these two to get side by side. All it takes is one moment for them to get side by side down the straightaway, Jeremy, and Tyler Bowling is there.
I think Tyler's starting to feel a little bit of extra tightness as these guys are racing side by side in the corners a little bit here. There's not too much room for clean air on the 15's nose. He runs this time a little bit higher up to get that clean air. Going to give him a nice little launch off a turn 4. Nate Lesko a little too tight. Has to check up the throttle. 15 has lane choice. He's going to look to the inside. He's going to make the pass effort here. Inside quarter panel, side by side for second.
And Bowling's got to make quick work right here of Lesko. If he does not, Nick Kaufman is going to run away with this. Right now, the gap is 0.2 of a second from Lesko to Kaufman. But with these guys going side by side, it's just going to help out Kaufman. But Tyler Bowling is right there trying to put the move to Nate Lesko into the corner, but he has to check up, gets a little bit tight, but now puts the throttle back down to the floorboard, and he's going to try to get around Lesko. This is the battle for the second spot, and Bowling is going to have the draft of Kaufman down the straightaway. 9 laps to go from the Irish Hills of Michigan.
And you said, oh, contact, side draft. He's doing everything he can. He really needs to make this pass happen quick. That right front is going to heat up too much. And as you said it, this is going to help Nick here. He's already got a couple car length separation between these two that continue to run side by side as we get great views from Nate Lesko's driver's side view right out the window.
If I'm Nate Lesko, honestly, I would just let this 15 go right here, and he might, he almost cleared him there down the straightaway, but he's going to pull the side draft, suck him back a little bit, and the 20 is going to get a huge run off turn number 2. But look at this. Nick Kaufman is not getting away from them. His tires might very well be shot out, because all of a sudden Nate Lesko has turned on the jets, and he has now cleared the 15, gets a little tight on exit. Tyler Bowling going to get a big run here down the back straightaway.
He's got the speed. He's got the slingshot.
Oh,
he's
got him.
going to get him. There's no way he doesn't. Does Nate drive it in deep? He is. He's going to utilize some brake. Tyler gets tight. But then he's going to get the launch off the corner exit.
Let him go.
Maybe. Going to be close, but no, not going to happen. Tyler having a hell of a time with Nate.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I think that the more that these guys battle, I think that Nick Kaufman's got this made. I really believe that Nate Lesko, even though you shouldn't give up the spots, I think that he should probably just let the 15 go. He knows he's faster than him. Let him go, run him down the 95 machine. He might be able to get him side by side and let him reel himself back in. I just don't think there's going to be enough time. 6 to go this time by. They went from being 2/10. They almost make contact. Now it's a half a second.
And he got him.
Clears him.
That time.
Push him, boys.
Barely. Yeah, there we go. So now the 15 and 95, who just happen to be teammates out here, going to try to track him down for the next 6 laps. Can they do something? Nate's going to try one last hoorah on the inside. Not going to happen. That's it. Nate Lesko, tires are done. He's going to start backing it down here. Tyler Bowling versus Nick Kaufman. 5 laps remaining. I think his right front's used up too much, but we're going to see.
Yeah, I think with the 95 slipping and sliding from the bottom, or rather from the top down to the bottom and back up to the top of the racetrack, this could be everything that Nate Lesko, or rather that Tyler Bowling needs. Remember, Bowling was using that bottom side of the racetrack. Now Nick Kaufman's trying to use that side of the racetrack. I don't know if that's going to be the preferred line here. when you got Tyler Bowling running you down, running that outside lane, cooling off that right front tire. I think that the Tyler Bowling's going to have a great shot at it. I just don't know if he's going to get there. The dirty air is what's going to be the factor this time by. They'll see 4 laps to go, 8 miles remaining, I believe.
Tyler just looks a little bit too tight compared to Nick Kaufman entering at least turn 3. Corner entry seems to be the strong suit for Nick. Tyler can get the great launches on exit, but he has to get the car to rotate in the center or entrance part of the corner to make it all come to fruition and get in this checkered flag with 3.5 laps remaining. Not much ground is made up. I think Nick, as long as he hits his marks, he's got this one.
Yeah, for sure. All he's got to do is just hit his marks and just not let Tyler Bowling reel him in a little bit. But, I mean, Tyler is still there. This is not over by any means. I just think if Nate Lesko and him would have been able to sacrifice one position after the other, I think they would have been able to get there a lot quicker. But with 3 laps to go, I just don't think it's going to happen for the time being. Nick Kaufman's just got to be picture perfect here for these next 6 miles.
Ford versus Chevy versus Toyota. All 3 manufacturers, 1, 2, 3 up front. Nate's going to get a great launch off of turn 2 this time. Almost gets to the left rear quarter panel of Tyler. But, of course, that exit speed at Michigan is so strong. Pulls him back 2 car lengths ahead. Slight gaining onto the 95, but it's not going to be enough as we're going to get 2 laps to go. Nick Kaufman still in full command here. As Tyler gets a great launch off of 4 that time, separates himself from the 20 more. Gains a car length of 2 on the 95.
Yeah, and look at the 95, still running this bottom of the racetrack. I genuinely believe this 15 might have a shot. If he could just get a good run here off turn number 2, and I believe he does, I think he might have a shot here. If he could do it getting down into turns 3 and 4, have a great run, a surge of momentum, he might be able to get there. But now he's throwing it down to the bottom. Kaufman going to throw his car down right in front of the nose of the 15, take that air away, send him up the racetrack. It might be race over for Tyler Bowling here, but here he comes. He's got to run. White flag's out. 1 lap to go.
Presented by absolutely nobody here. 2 miles, now less than 2 miles left in this event. Tyler going Hail Mary to the outside. You're going to take the nice sweep, straight line approach off corner exit. Gets a great launch. Nick Kaufman's going to block the slipstream one last time. And gets into turn number 3. This is where Nick's had a pretty decent time on this part of the track. For the final time in 3 and 4, Tyler going to try the outside slingshot. Not going to be enough. Nick Kaufman's going to be winner of the Be Like Biff 100.
About time.
About time, he calls it out there, Mr. 95 picks up his first win of the season. Last of the regular season. Get a nice little bump there from the 20 and Nate. And there we go. The battle of the cereals there. Powered by Nesquik. And it's going to be the Fruit Loops car. You're going to do the burnout on the front straightaway. Close out the season. He comes up to the front stretch to do his burnout here. We'll go over the finishing results, gather up our top 3, and make it happen here. As Intentionally Wrecked Podcasts 1, 2, 3 here this evening. I don't know if Nick Kaufman knows the rules on the burnouts. Let's make sure he stays clear. He's got a lot of asphalt around him to make sure that doesn't happen. He's going to park it possibly right there on the start-finish line. And here is your unofficial results for the final race of the regular season. Here we go. Top 3, Nick Kaufman, Tyler Bowling, Nate Lesko. And then finalizes with Brandon Finley and Braxton DeWeese for the top 5. 6 through 10, you'll find Mitch Diamond in 6th, Christian Marcelli in 7th, Blake Treywick 8th, Bryce Hedgecock P9, and Eddie Baker finishes in 10th. And 11th on back is Christopher Cash, David Mayberry, Bill Hagan, Robert Hottenbach, and then Austin Wheeler with a 2-lap park to complete the 15-car lineup for this race. We're going to get our top 3 pulled up, and then we'll talk to him shortly after. Not sure if we have Mr. Rockefeller here.
Yes, sorry,
Would
my
you- okay.
apologies. Yeah, I mean, great job by the number 95 Nick Coffin there. I will say definitely, I think clean air helped rather helped prevail him to victory lane tonight for the first time. But this was a long time coming. We'll get to talk to him here in just a minute. I'm sure he's going to be happy to finally get the monkey off his back, and obviously this is going to prevail him into the chase, where he's going to be able to compete for a championship. And he's been strong in, week out. So we'll see what his thoughts are here in post race.
And here we go. Victory Field post race underway here as we have our top 3 lined up for their post race interviews. So, first and foremost, we're going to bring in our third place driver, the number 20, Mr. Nate. Let's go. Nate, congrats, man, on a P3. Started first, not where you wanted to finish, but all in all, you had a solid performing car out there.
Just happy we had a good result as a team. I think I was just 1 too short coming out of the pits there. So.
Yeah, your team has got the points locked up. Like, you had a massive triple-digit lead coming into this thing, and then you guys 1, 2, 3. I think it might have already been locked up, but after tonight's race, for sure. What kind of preparations did the team make coming into Michigan?
We didn't do too much preparation for this. This is just one of those you just run a few qualifying laps and then feel it out from there. So not too much for this trip specifically.
And Nate, congratulations on finishing top 3, man. I know you've been probably the guy to beat all year long. You probably should have more wins than the 4 that you already have in the bag. But now, you guys are going to be entering up into the chase soon. What is your anticipations going on to that? I believe the points do reset. So what is your mindset like going on for the remaining 6 races?
Just keep some momentum going into the playoffs. Unfortunate that the points reset, but there's a lot of good competition here. So Nick, Tyler, Brandon, everybody around here. So I don't know. It'll be competitive for sure going to playoffs.
All right, man. Well, good stuff out there tonight. Good fun race to watch up there up front. Any final words before we let you go?
No, I appreciate you guys. Always put on a great broadcast. So very, very enjoyable to listen to at the end of the races, and it's very professional. Well done. So I appreciate you guys.
All right, thank you, man. Go get them next week. We'll see you at Charlotte.
All right, see ya.
Yes, sir. All right, now we're going to bring in second place finisher, Mr. Tyler Bowling, who had the best strategy, we think. Maybe just lost a little too much ground there on the pit stops. Mr. Tyler Bowling, congrats on P2.
Appreciate it. Best finish of the season, so I'm happy with it. Would have liked a little bit more, but I'll take a P2, especially if you losing to Nick there. He's tough to beat.
Yeah, you had a hard time getting around the number 20. Multiple laps, trying on the inside. You'd saved that right front all run long. You slowly got there, and you finally did it, and just stalled, man. How much of that downforce played a factor, and you just cannot pass it?
Their air depth was playing a factor, especially once I caught the 20. I wasn't able to run that line that I wanted to, that I used to get up to them. So I had to make a little bit of adjustment. I didn't really like running the top, but I felt like that was my only chance. And it was enough to get around the 20, but not enough to catch up to Nick there in the 95. So he just had a little bit more a little more tire, I think, than me at the end there, and he was able to hold me off.
And Tyler, congratulations, man, on P2. I know not the result you probably won. You wanted one better, but you did obviously get your best of the year so far. You mentioned the tire wear and so forth and going to the bottom of the racetrack, not wanting to be there, but also not wanting to be up at the top of the racetrack either. Were you surprised by the way that everybody was running the top tonight? I haven't seen a fixed race at Michigan in a long, long time, man. So it was kind of surprising to me to see everybody running the top trying to conserve that right front.
Yeah, I was a little surprised how that seemed where everyone gravitated towards. But I'm not sure if running the top or running the bottom was exactly better for right front conservation there. I ended up just able to find a particular lane about 15, 20 laps into the race at the beginning. It was able to work out for me, and I was able to stick with it until I would catch someone. But yeah, I'm definitely surprised everyone went up there quickly.
All right, Tyler, congrats, man. Started second, finished second. So overall, just excellent job on your end. Any final words before we let you go?
Shout out to IWP teammates. We always practice together, and it was a hell of a race right there with us 3. A lot of fun with those guys. And appreciate you guys for doing the broadcast and everything.
100%, man. Good luck to you in the postseason. We'll catch you next week.
All right, see you guys.
Yes, sir. All right, there was Tyler Bowling, second place, car number 15. And now to load up the victory lane scene for Victory Fuel, Victory Lane. Here we go. We got Nick Kaufman, first time winner of the season, and the number 95 Fruit Loops car, man. Congratulations on the first win.
Thank you. It's about time.
It's about time. That's what Jason said when you crossed the line. That's his exact words. About time, man. How's it feel to get the clean air and watch the other two behind you just battle it out?
It's very relieving, honestly. Not having anything go wrong at the end of the race, managing my race pretty well. I feel like I had a good in lap and out lap and pit stop there under green flag conditions. I just really feel like I overdrove the first stage and fell off late. My right front got to like 40-something%, I think, but I took that, kept it in the back of my head for this last stretch and just saved tire as much as I could until I saw Tyler coming up like a bat out of hell, catching us from 2 seconds back. And then, I just had the clean air to go and finish it.
And Nick, congratulations, man. Finally getting the monkey off your back. P1 here tonight. Now that you finally got the monkey off your back, you got that first win of the year. We're heading into the chase, man. What is your thoughts going into it? Obviously, you're going to be seated, I believe, fourth around there coming into it, man. You've been one of the strongest cars all year with you and your teammates. What preparation are you going to do as a driver to make sure that you go out there and have a shot to win that title at the end of the season?
It's just going to be eliminate the little mistakes, right? My teammates always tell me I beat myself more than other people beat me. And you guys have seen it this year. It's kind of true. So I just got to keep all four tires under me. We reset for the chase, so Nate won't have his huge, 3-digit lead in points anymore. I just take it easy, prioritize good finishes over wins now that I got a win under my belt, and hope to be there the last couple races and be within a shot of it.
Yes, sir. You have a great chance of doing such here, and what way to start the playoffs with the win the week before. And any shout outs or final words before we let you go this evening?
Just want to shout out my teammates, the IWP boys. I'm sad that Austin couldn't finish that race. I guess he finally got away from the IWP boys. But top 3 for us, top 4 actually, and Bryce finished 9th, so top 10 there. So we're doing pretty good in the points, and want to thank my wife for letting me get on here every week and race at night, and thank you guys for continuing to put us on YouTube and show what we can do.
Yes, sir. 100% there. Congratulations once more. We'll catch you at Charlotte next week.
Thanks.
Yes, sir. That was Nick Kaufman, winner of tonight's Be Like the Biff 100. Jason, not a single spin out this evening. The only caution was brought to you in part by Stage Break. That's it. What a race.
Yeah, man. Obviously, it's good to see Nick Kaufman finally get his first win of the season. It's been a long time coming. He had said it, that his teammates tell him that he beats himself more than others beat him, which is probably about it. I mean, you look at last week at Richmond, the guy led over 146 laps and just overcooks it into turn 1 on cold tires, which we saw all night long, loses the lead, loses the race. You think back to Nashville, he gets a probation for some stuff that happened under caution, I believe it was. And also just in general, I mean, he's been so fast week in and week out. He can compete with Nate Lesko. He can compete with Austin Wheeler. But again, he mentioned he has to eliminate those little mistakes. And I will say that I think that he has definitely progressed as a driver. Last week was a little bit of shades of early Nick Kaufman this season. But other than that, I think that he is going to be a very hard driver to beat. Nonetheless, same with Nate Lesko. Austin Wheeler. I would even say Blake Trawick. If Blake can just have a night like he's been having recently, I know he didn't get the finish that he probably wanted here tonight. He finished 8th, so he's going to lose that streak finally. Went for 4 consecutive top 3s in a row. Comes to an end here tonight. It's going to be a hard-fought season for here on out. You got Charlotte, Talladega, and some other races coming up. Looking forward to it, man, though. It should be an exciting one for sure. And now Nate Lesko's point lead went from 86, and it's going to go all the way down to almost nothing. So this is going to be a really interesting last 6 races.
To watch it, man. Thank you guys for tuning in on the Twitch side and YouTube. So that's it for us. Catch us live 2 weeks or 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central. Check out our main sponsor, iconapparelcompany.com. And if you want to buy our swag, that's nerditudes.gg, and look for the nerd swag and shop away and have at it. You guys, until then, or till our next broadcast, stay safe, get your nerd on. It's not goodbye, it's just until next time, stay nerdy. Thank you guys.
Touchscreen and louder to the range. Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber is rolling, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. Our TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats round and engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Fight to fight, we live the speed. Our TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Through each hairpin, a battle unfolds. Victory forged in the fire of the bold. Neon dreams fuel the tracks we tear. Nerd TV shows us who dares to care. Fight to fight, we live the speed. Nerd TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Touchscreen and louder to the range. Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber is rolling, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. Our TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder.